Dad.
Welcome back to Adtopsy Live, everyone, with a very special episode. You are absolutely going to love this. We had a very traumatic episode. Barry, why don't you tell people what happened here?
First, we had an Adtopsy challenge where we looked at some of Tru-Earth's ads, and some of us got it right. We also then looked at some competitors of Tru-Earth, which was not awkward at all. And then, to make this episode really not awkward at all, we did not traumatize our guest Ryan by challenging him to choose black or white about certain really hot-button issues in the D2C space.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Adtopsy Live. Very fun. The whole crew is here, including a very special guest, but it is starring myself, Jess Bachman, as Beard in Training.
Oh, yeah, definitely Beard in Training.
Let it rip.
Also starring Barry Hott as the Elder Beardsman.
Yes. I love that for you, Barry.
Just got it trimmed.
Also starring Aaron Elliott as Call HR. I dare you.
I've been a little sassy this week.
Starring Nikki Brasher as Nikki Reincarnate. Welcome, Nikki. Hopefully stick around.
I have arrived.
Oh, wow. My mom
Finally.
just commented that she's watching live.
God! Sandy! I'm so happy you're here.
We've been waiting for you. Mama hot. Mama hot.
Here we go.
Also starring Rachel Jackson as Woman with Actual Microphone.
Ooh.
Oh, wait. Can we hear some?
It's
Testing?
bad. It's a
Ooh,
snowball.
okay. Nice.
It's okay. It's
way
okay.
better. Huge
And,
improvement.
and starring Mryan McKenzie as one-man D2C content farm. Hello, Ryan.
What's up, guys?
I thought it was going to be a dad joke reference.
This show is produced by Nicole Valadares, otherwise known as The Chat Roaster.
Woohoo!
And of course, we can't forget starring the chat itself as Barry's cue cards for smart things to say.
Ooh,
Yes.
snap!
That is the only place where I get any of my inspo from.
Also, Sandy, you better be putting some really good things in the comments
Don't
about Barry when he was
encourage-
a baby.
Do not encourage this. This is already bad.
I'm
I
here
might
for
have to
it.
block her.
So
amazing.
good. It's so good.
You can't block your mom, Barry. You can't do that.
Trust me, I can. I can, and I
He's
will.
blushing.
So we have
You
a
got
fun...
really red really fast.
Did I? I'm gonna fix my lighting. Hold on.
It's
The
truly.
lighting's too much.
So we have a very fun show today. We have Ryan McKenzie. Ryan and I are, would you say we're Twitter friends? I mean, are we? Yeah? Would you say that? I don't know.
Yeah,
Please.
they're like passive-aggressive compliments.
Something like that.
Like this, sort of.
Ryan somehow is able to produce like a ton of content in the tweets, the shorts, and the YouTube video. Definitely worth checking out. A lot better than ours. But also Ryan is a brand owner, and we don't have a lot of brand owners or founders on this show. So I wanted to bring Ryan on. Ryan, why don't you tell people what your deal is?
Yeah, so I am one of the co-founders of a brand called Tru-Earth. We kind of started an entirely new category of consumer goods about almost 4 years ago now. I don't have any here to showcase, which is probably stupid, but basically we've taken the first product we did was a laundry detergent, and we put it into a tiny little strip that replaces either your liquid or your pods, and with a mission of eliminating single-use plastics in consumer household goods. And
Nice.
it's been 3 years, and we've released a laundry detergent strip, a multi-surface cleaner, a toilet bowl cleaner, a fabric softener, and now a dishwasher tab.
That's a real laundry list of things you've
What a
done there.
good pun that
tomatoes.
was.
Tomato.
Oh my God, corny.
Barry, you're cleaning up, and we're just getting started.
Tomato,
Let's
tomatoes.
go. You're welcome.
Throwing tomatoes.
Ryan, do you still work at Tru-Earth? Because you also seem like a full-time content creator.
I do.
Talking,
I
Jess.
do. You're making me
Yeah,
look bad now,
right.
but yes, I do. I'm still the chief marketing officer, but yeah, this is my basement suite studio. But I figured out some ways to create content or batch content to block my time and be efficient. So
Nice.
You should teach Jess.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Why don't you tell Jess how to do that?
If you
Can you
could,
teach me?
that would be
also?
great.
I could use some help with that.
No,
too.
sure, we can just talk about that instead if you guys want.
Good.
And we don't have to pay for this? Okay, great.
I will.
Consulting.
I will say that sharing content and making content is a crucial part of actually the learning process and distilling your own ideas and stuff like that. So I'm sure it makes your CMO effectiveness easier or better. You know?
For sure.
All right, so I got a ton of segments. We're just gonna sort of get into it. I'm gonna share my screen.
Let's do it. Jess, I feel like your energy level has to come up a notch for me today. Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Why
Right,
is there
Jerry?
music here?
Two
I'm
notches.
Right?
disappointed that there's not music right now.
Yeah, me too. I am very disappointed, Ryan.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, you guys can see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so before we get into it fully, I just want to let people know about Deep Cuts, which is sort of the companion newsletter to this actual show. And you can sign up. There's a link in the descriptions of the YouTube description or wherever. 64% open rate. So that's pretty good. That's pretty hot. Basically, what I do is I don't like recap the show, but I take one particular element of the show and then go into a little bit of a deep dive on that particular thing. I don't know. Have any of you guys read it? Any of you guys on the news? Do you get it?
I've read it. It's in my spam sometimes, but I've read it.
Ooh. Need to fix your sending.
I got 400,000 unread emails. Even if I'm on it, I probably didn't see it.
Ryan, that gives me anxiety.
You're one of those people. I can't do it. I must clear notifications. I can't
Same.
do it.
Just don't do email. But sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
All right, so getting into the Adtopsy challenge.
where's our music?
Nicole?
Nicole.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, Ryan, I like it. I like it.
So fun. All right,
That's our
so getting into the season standings. We won't go over it, but I think we will count. Last one was a little controversial. We will count it. I did get back in touch with that guy, and it seems mostly legit. So if you are in the chat, feel free to drop your vote. We have some people who are 3-0. We have some people who are not that, who are
Jess,
0
I'm
and
not
3.
even on here,
Rachel's not even on the list.
and I'm
Yeah.
on the show.
You're right here at the top. You're 2
Oh.
and 3.
I'm literally under Rabba, who's been
Oh.
on the show like once.
It's sorted by alphabetical, so change your name if you want to be at the top.
Oh, okay. Well,
Ooh, that's all you gotta do? I'm
Rabba is pretty
I'm
awesome
Mickey.
though. Like
Rabba is.
I spent
pretty awesome.
an evening with
Agreed.
him. He's pretty fun.
Yes,
And not
he's a fun dude.
that sounded bad, but
Yeah, wait a second.
yeah, Rama. Rama's
Not-
real fun for the night.
pretty fun.
You're married.
all right. Yeah, you know
For
what?
now.
Like
Open relationship. All right. So Ryan, you brought both these ads. They're both for Tru-Earth here.
yeah.
Without revealing the winner, do you want to add a little context about like what this product is or what these ads are about?
Yeah. So for sure. So we launched this new product. I don't even remember the date now because I'm being put on the spot, but probably about a month ago. This whole year is kind of a blur. We launched this new product. It's a dishwasher tablet that is considerably smaller than what's currently on the market, and it comes kind of like in a Kit Kat style format where you like snap little bars off. And so we basically had a number of different creatives that we launched at launch, and the two that I've provided are two of them. So one of them obviously won, and one of them obviously lost. And
Yep.
Let us be
I don't know what else you want me to tell you, but
Nope,
they were designed
that's
to
good.
sell stuff.
That's it. That's it.
good.
Don't give it away.
And if you're in the chat, feel free to comment along if you have any particular feedback as well. We're going to get started with the first ad here.
Which product do you think contains more dishwasher tablets? What if I told you they both have the same amount, but one is eco-friendly and so much smaller? These new dishwasher tablets are super compact, tiny but mighty, contain no plastic containers, making them easy to store and are better for the environment. It's so easy. One tablet equals one load. All you have to do is detach a tablet with dry hands and wash your dishes as normal. And if you're like me and you live in a small space, these tiny boxes are so easy to store. Goodbye bulky plastic containers. Make washing your dishes even easier and don't compromise on quality. These tiny but mighty tabs make all the difference.
Is that a picture of her in the background? It kind of looks like it.
It's kind of, that's like Inception, right? Like, yeah.
Okay.
If only she was holding the plate.
I never noticed that. I never noticed that.
Now that's all I can see.
I'll tell you something after this is done, but everybody else noticed. But you guys, the women might have already noticed it, but I'll let the second one go first.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's the second one.
Oh, we just lost the screen. Oh,
Can you just relaunch that?
yeah. Can you start over, Jess?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, we lost it in the middle.
Great.
Obviously very different in style,
So different.
in length, in a lot of ways.
One more piece of context too, because just to mess with you guys' heads a little bit, is that this was like our most requested product that we've had since the beginning of the original launch of the company. So that's with the context of all those chat bubbles at the beginning of the second ad.
So some initial thoughts that I have, I'm trending toward this one because it's more like explanatory, but at the same time, this one feels very much, we call it downstage, or like retargeting, like people are waiting for it. And so that can absolutely help the performance of it, you know. Anyone else have any thoughts on either?
Were these served to the same audience?
Yeah.
Is it a prospecting audience?
Yeah, it was basically, I reviewed it this morning. One of them was an Advantage Plus, and one was just broad.
They were in two separate campaigns.
Not necessarily at the same time. I was just looking at like over the time since we've launched it.
All right. Because this will, I mean, now we were just going to the technical side of this. If that broad had exclusions and the Advantage Plus didn't, then we have some problems here on this analysis. But still, I'll let it play.
I'll also mention that even stuff that feels like it's for a retargeting audience can work very well in prospecting, because anytime someone's like waiting, if you have social proof that people are like waiting for a release, it makes it more interesting inherently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you play the beginning of
I want to see
again?
Oh, I want
play
to
the
see
beginning
one.
of both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which product do you think contains more dishwasher tablets? What if I told you they both have the same amount, but one is eco-friendly and so much smaller? These new dishwasher tablets are super compact.
Okay.
One.
You paused at the perfect spot there because
That
lots
was
of
what I
people
was
were
going to say.
commenting on her
I knew
nails.
it. She needs a fill. That was what I was going to say.
Why did you
That's good.
not get your nails done before you shot this ad? It was interesting.
That's a good ugly
That
ads
was the
move.
only thing I could think of when you were like, I bet you're already going to know, or the women might already know. I'm like, yeah, she needs a fill like last week.
I was going to
We've
say
talked
that.
about this before. Yeah, that's so funny. Nails are a huge thing.
My wife works for our company, and her job is to respond to all the ads. So that's what there's tons, right? And it's like you have no idea how many times I've heard about these nails. Like I'm like, it's good. Just let it keep going.
It's fine. Yeah. Any engagement is good engagement, right?
Right.
Rachel's like, no, actually, no.
Okay, so chat, be sure to get your vote in. We are going to vote ourselves, and then we're going to defend our votes, and then Ryan's going to reveal the winner.
Can you play the beginning of number 2 again, please?
Yep.
Oh boy, I don't know.
Yeah, this is tough.
This is a good one. They're very different. I like this. We also have a
It's
music
cool.
versus no music situation here. Human versus product.
What are your thoughts on music versus no music? Like I love this. This is awesome. I want to hear them.
These are all like just, different variables. So like it's you can't just say like music versus no music because it's like how you use it.
It's without music would have no audio. So that would be weird.
It's not the volume of the music; it's how you use it.
Yeah, it's the motion.
Right.
The motion of the
Of the music.
Robin knows.
Volume of the music. After that one night.
So I think I know which one I'm going to vote for. Are you guys ready?
I guess. Yep.
I guess too. This is tough.
Go for it.
All right. So I'm going to count to 3, and you're going to put up one finger for ad number 1, or 2 fingers for ad number 2. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Split room.
All right.
No, not split. Didn't we all say 1?
No, I
Rachel
said
said
two.
2.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
You gotta get in your like frame.
Brett said 2.
I know it's hard to.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. So the only reason why I was hesitant about this one is because the benefit here like does not resonate. Like I do not need space saved under my sink or whatever. So that was just a little off for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would have chosen 2 if 2 was longer and did some more like contexty explainy things. Like I feel like 2 was more interesting in the upfront, but maybe didn't do enough explaining on the brand or the product to get me through to click through and buy. Whereas 1 did all of the explaining. If you get through the fact that the beginning is boring and not really hooky, 1 did all the explaining I need to go and purchase the product. So
I think that's true. In number 2, as someone who like puts a lot of these type of ads in market, what immediately happens on ads like number 2 is some woman named Stephanie writes, "Oh my God, I've been looking for this for so long. Thank you for doing it." And then people just pile on and say they want this. And then that's great engagement.
thank God for Stephanie.
Thank God for Stephanie.
Thank you,
I was thinking that too, Nikki. God bless Stephanie.
But I am struggling with the very beginning because these chat bubbles are not chat bubbles. And I wish so badly that they were actual comments. Because we do that all the time in a lot of ads. You just pull the actual comments or you fake it on like fake tweets or fake actual Facebook or Instagram comments, and they actually look a little bit more native. This to me looks less native, so I am struggling with that a little bit. And it's very fast. But I don't know. I just thought, let's vote for 2, see what happens.
All right.
It's amazing to.
All I can think about right now is how badly I just want to sit around and jam with you guys on creative. This is
All
right.
Come to our bi-weekly super sesh. We have like an 8-hour meeting every other week where we talk about creative.
Yeah, literally 8 hours.
So yeah, I agree with you, Rachel. Quotation marks would help there. And then the other thing is this had the shot here, which does exactly the opposite. This to me says pills, says like supplements or whatever.
Definitely.
And this was on screen. The thing that like really turned me off, and I'm okay if I get this wrong, but whatever. Like the thing that turned me off about this ad was that it showed this for way too long. Was it 3 seconds? Did I get 3 seconds of this?
Yeah.
That's painful. Like
it's 4 seconds.
Dude, why would anyone continue watching this?
Painful, Ryan.
The long
Painful.
wait. The long wait.
But what if you could take a pill and your dishes were clean?
Well, that I do.
Like how amazing would that be?
I would take that pill.
This seems like you take a pill and the long wait is over.
You're just a suicide pill.
Ow! What?
The long wait. Sorry.
I was thinking like the expedited pregnancy pill. Like it just like gets to the end real quick.
Right. That's right.
No,
call back to 2 weeks ago, right?
But,
we already did that.
But that is a good point, because subconsciously, if you put like the long wait is over and then you have like a pill there, who knows what their brain is, not actively thinking of. And then all of a sudden it's like you feel like you want to kill yourself after the ad.
Okay, wow.
Oh my God. No.
This reminds me of that book you recommended that I read, Jess. What was that book called? The one with the spy and the sparrow or the bird and the sex stuff.
Yeah. It was.
Are you sure Rob didn't recommend that?
Are you sure?
I think that was actually the first conversation Jess and I ever had was about a book.
Great first impression.
Wow.
Sounds like Jess.
I read it. I listened.
Usual. Was it good? Did you like it?
Yeah, it was really good.
Okay. Yeah, the whole series is good. Anyway, so my favorite shot in this ad is, and it comes way late, is this one. Like going from like clean to dirty is just such a, if you deal with dishes all the time, and if your dishes are not clean all the time, you feel this. You feel this level of shine. And so like moving this up to the beginning, so it's like we're talking about dishes and then backing into some of these less powerful benefits, like saving space, might be an improvement.
Could be a good
All
pattern
right.
interrupt too, like a little hook.
Yeah.
Have like a really disgusting plate with like gross things sliding down it.
Big time.
All right, chat. You probably have like 3 seconds to get your vote in. Ryan,
Dying to know.
why don't you reveal which of these is the winner?
How do you want me to do that? You want me to use a finger?
We can do
Fingers.
a drum roll.
I was going to say a drum roll, please.
I like drum rolls.
And then you just say it. 1.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
And so I'm assuming it's based off like ROAS, just to be clear, or CPA or whatever.
Yeah, the CPAs. I don't have the exact CPAs with me,
spend.
but like even looking at it, like the thumb stop rate or like the 3 second impression rate was like 39%, or some on the first one with like 28% hold, and the second one was 29% thumb stop and like 23% hold. So the first one definitely was catching attention a little bit better.
Dope.
So well done, most of us.
I needed that. I needed that win. So bad.
Rachel, your
So
name
did
goes
I.
down another tier.
The chat always seemed to get that one mostly wrong as well.
Yeah.
So quick message about one of our sponsors, Foxwell Founders Group. We talk about them a lot. I just wanted to let people know that there's a lot more in there. It's not just like Facebook ads. There's a lot of stuff in there. I asked the question, like, does anyone know how to find out how many clicks there are from branded search in PMAX campaigns? 10 replies in in less than 24 hours. Absolutely great. It's like the WikiHow for a bit, like all things sort of marketing, but actually for people that know what they're talking about. Also found out that like PMAX is like totally bullshit and a scam, which is like super interesting as well. But
Fun.
Yeah, there was a cool video, like live video chat we did in there with a bunch of people about PMAX. It was pretty cool.
I want to hear why PMAX was a scam.
You got to join Foxwell Founders.
yeah,
Yeah.
If you're not already.
I can't give it away. Sorry, that's the value.
All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go pay some money.
Yeah.
Shoot Andrew an email. He'll hook you up. But there's like channels for like big spenders, smaller spenders, email, SMS, even like hiring. The agency bids owner one is one that I'm sort of active in as well.
Yeah. There's also a business owner one. Like, so there's agency. It's good for agency owners and also like business owners who are like involved in marketing. You don't even have to.
Oh, Ryan, you can be in 2 groups.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I've always wanted to be in two spots at the same time.
Okay, Ryan, our next segment, Marketshare, means sharing. Whenever we have a brand owner on, we invite them to review some of the competitors' ads, and maybe we can help them get better since you're so dominant in your sort of category, whatever. Let's sort of share the wealth. We do have a jingle for this, Nicole.
When there's no competition, there's no fun. So
What?
let's help out our competitors some. An Adtopsy original jingle.
Wow, that one was buried
The
and wasn't
voice?
feeling it.
The voice
loved
on
it.
that man is like velvet. I like it.
I was just shocked. I
Where's
love
where you
it.
source these? Are these like from Fiverr, or where do you get these?
That's proprietary
I was
information.
gonna say, if
We
you
cannot
told you,
reveal
we'd
our
have to
sources.
kill you.
Right.
That's Jess does that for part time.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you recognize any of these brands?
I do. I recognize drops.
Okay, well, let's just take a look at them and we'll review them. We don't have to spend a ton of time on them, but just curious to see what the market's out there and seeing how we can improve them or what's wrong. Let's just start with this one.
I'm officially breaking up with my old detergents. I don't know about you, but I would have to run multiple cycles in the dishwasher and washing machine to actually get my dishes and clothes clean. But even then, there would still be stains. I knew there had to be a better solution, which is when I found Drops. They have the best dishwasher and laundry detergent I have ever tried. I'm telling you, this stuff changed the way I do my chores. Not only making my clothes and dishes fresh and clean with their plant and mineral-based ingredients, but also saving the planet by reducing single-use plastic, making it a more efficient and eco-friendly choice. Make the switch today at drops.com.
There was a lot going on there. I felt like I didn't know if I was doing clothes or dishes or what.
I don't
Yeah,
like that either.
I didn't like that.
Can I just say I use this brand?
Ooh, is it good? Not as good as Tru-Earth.
Right? It's good for something. It's good for something.
Well, you do bring up a good point because they're talking about laundry and dishes, which are totally separate
totally
rooms,
different
Different problems.
activities, and putting them together. Even though that like they might be the top two sellers, you have to get someone in one like focused train of thought, and trying to splice it just because those products are there does not make any sense.
Right.
I did
If
not
they
like
wanted
that.
if they wanted to do like a brand ad, like high level, like all natural things to clean your home, like this is not it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I'm thinking seeing this is that, you know, the ad does a lot of the targeting, and if you're selling, you're just kind of like chasing two rabbits catch none, right? Like you're not giving the algorithm like you're asking it to do two things at the same time, which is generally going to get you worse results.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Which is a bummer because I liked the opening line, the breaking up with your old detergent. I actually liked that.
Well, I like it too, and there's a lot of interesting lines here, and it's shot well. But I will say this is almost like Mad Libs for D2C creators.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
totally.
That's okay. That's okay. Oh, I like that the text split. By the way,
I like
it's
that too.
the problem there is it's showing their own product, right? It's not showing a competitor, is it?
Right.
Yes,
Right. So
Barry.
that's the huge mistake. And by the way, a lot of brands are too afraid to show other brands, like the Champion brand or whatever it is. But I would encourage that, and then expect their legal team to reach out and be very upset.
yeah, I was going to say one caveat to that, Barry, is that if you're making any sort of comparison claims and you're saying anything about efficacy,
Yeah, no.
you're just basically setting yourself up to get like.
No, that I would be very careful with. But the first sentence I'm very okay with. I'm breaking up with my old brand. That I'm okay with, and say like, screw Tide, and just throwing Tide away, although that's a stupid waste. But
I no longer
that
eat
I'm okay
Tide Pods. Yep.
but not saying that. Yeah, I wouldn't say like, oh, these pods are way more delicious than Tide.
Right.
Delicious. Now you eat them.
And nutritious.
Okay, so here's a very.
Go
ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say one other thing on that first one too is that they're putting money behind it, and she's specifically saying this is the best detergent that she's ever used. She's also put like from a legal. I know a little bit too much about the legal side of things here, but they're putting themselves in a position for potential lawsuits, class action, et cetera, based on claiming that this is the best particular product in the industry. And there's like a lot of private equity going
true?
into class. Yes.
Well, she's saying from her perspective. If you wanted to,
Right, but Drops is running the ad.
right.
It's also not real. I
I don't know. It's tough. I mean, yeah, it's tough. I don't know. I err on the side of caution now that I see the kind of stuff that,
Oh, I agree with you. Just to be clear, I'm agreeing with you. But like, there's a big. Yeah, I guess that is true. It's come from their page. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend saying that because it's also a nothing statement, right? Like it's basically like unprovable. So I wouldn't want to say that. But yeah, I agree with you on that one.
And maybe I'm just like too close to making ads, but does this one just feel like it was just right out of like a content creator agency? It just feels.
Yes.
It just feels.
Oh my
like,
God, I'm so obsessed.
Is this not Social Savannah? I'd bet $5 this is Social Savannah or her.
I don't know if
her team.
I think it matters to us because we see it 24/7. But the reason that
Right.
the reason that all that content is pumped out is because it works. So
Yep.
to us, maybe it's a little.
I like
cringe,
the
but,
girl.
like, I do too.
Yeah, I
That
like
was
the
not a
girl.
dig on Social Savannah. Savannah Sanchez is amazing, but I was just calling it out. Like, if it's not her work, someone completely.
No, Barry, I
senior
think
stuff.
it might be because the editing style of how the captions are
Totally.
slanted is textbook her.
Yeah, which is an ugly ad tactic through and through.
Yeah.
Here's one I'm pretty sure is not Social Savannah.
I love this ad. Last time I
can't wait
saw
to
it,
see
I
it.
feel like I've seen this a lot.
Okay, let's see it.
I'm Jonathan Proper, CEO of Drops.com.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm here to give you the naked truth about laundry. Meet our imitators. This is your average detergent pod. It has 20 plus chemicals with names nobody can pronounce. Would you take a bath in either of these? No way. That's why we developed Drops. Drops is dye-free, MPE-free, phosphate-free, animal cruelty-free. So free, it's freaking awesome.
So this is a shorter cut of a longer Harmon Brothers type.
I love it.
Ad.
I love it too.
I don't like this one as much as the long one.
It makes me laugh.
Also, why is it so horizontal?
Because they shoot horizontal. What is this?
Square it up.
This is
Why does it not square?
well, I don't know why.
It was originally run as a YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Probably
I was
runs
Well,
gonna
no,
say,
no,
yeah.
that's
This is
that's
on the
also
YouTube channel.
clear because it's 30 seconds, but it's so much make it square. I
True.
don't make it square.
True. So Ryan, do you know, there's not a ton of, or most brands do not invest in a production like this, which might cost, $20K at least or something. Have you ever thought about doing that, or is that something on your radar, or how do you think about that?
We
as a
actually
brand owner?
have. We actually have. We've done. So we've taken them down temporarily, for reasons. But we're actually in the process of we've had like hundreds of millions of views on our funny videos, and that was actually part of what helped the brand really explode. Like we had things you should never mix with water, which went like hundreds of millions of views. We had this Real Men Do Laundry video, and then we had another one that was a game show. We've had another game show one launching like any day now for Dish too. So it's we've had probably 50% of them work really well. They're fun, but the biggest limitation on these, especially when they're 3 or 4 minutes long, is trying to hack them up so that you can get maximum placements. And generally they're filmed in such a way that like getting vertical is almost impossible without putting cropping it and putting like what is it called?
Bars.
I can't think of the word right now.
And so you run them as YouTube, like primarily, or where are they primarily?
YouTube, Facebook's probably had the biggest conversion. Actually, we even wrote a rap video. It was super awesome.
I love that.
That worked well on YouTube.
How did it go?
Yeah, it was like, it's called Tru-Earth. You heard it here first. The first zero waste the detergent that actually works. Clean your shirts. Anyways,
Clean your shirts.
your skirts and all of your. I can't remember all the words, but it was awesome. I really like these as a whole. I think that generally, when you talk to the higher ups at Facebook, they've kind of pushed back against it. And having seen the success that we had, they actually talked about doing a case study on doing longer form. But the big limitation on these, especially when outside of the extremely expensive to produce, is they're tough to cram into like some of the shorter form placements.
Yep.
I do think it's interesting, Jess, because this could have been cringe, and this guy, if he is the founder, is like he works. Like the humor is there, and that's a fine line you got to walk because he could
Humor
be cringe.
is real hard
Yeah.
to do well. Ryan, what revenue should a brand be at per year before they start to explore or invest in this level of creative?
That's a great question. I mean, you have to. There's almost not, I want to say opportunity cost, but if a video costs you $30,000-$40,000 to produce, like how many other winners could you've gotten for less expensive price point? I think the one thing, like, we're running TV as well, and TV is expensive for a whole other chunk of reasons. Like to get, it's easy to get like a UGC creator or, you know, a CEO to produce content for digital, but there's like considerable costs you have to pay for to the actual actors to license just to use these creatives on TV. Like we wanted to use a creative that we did a few months ago on TV, and there's 2 different actors in it, and it was going to be like $13,000 for a quarter per actor. So $26,000 on top of like the $50,000 cost to produce this. So we're like, yeah, let's just go back to my house and Ryan. We can film Ryan.
I hope they were good actors. Jeez.
Right?
Well, they've kind of been our spokespeople for our ads, our funny video ads. But the one tip, if you're ever planning on using something on TV, is negotiate that in the initial contract. Yeah. Because after you filmed it, they basically, you know, they're like, it's this much money and you have to do it if you want to run it.
Right. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to go to do this one from Earth Breeze. It's pretty long. It's basically an infomercial. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'll play the first like 20 seconds because you'll get the idea of it.
Stop using liquid laundry detergent.
When you see a sea creature caught in plastic, the first thought that comes to mind is, why aren't people recycling? I recycle and do my part. It's so easy. Well, there are a few things you should know before buying another jug of laundry detergent. Remember all those empty jugs you've recycled throughout the years?
Anyways, you get the point. It flips over into like actual ad somewhere around a minute or something. Wow. But I'm curious about the ecological aspect. Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can give you a few insights into that. Like 2019, 2020, the environment was a huge hot button for people. You know, Greta Thunberg was forefront of social media, but when the pandemic hit, like people's concerns about the environment changed to the concerns about like their ability to just go in public, and like Maslow's hierarchy of whoever's hierarchy of needs it is, I always mix that up. You know, like survival. Yeah, Jess's hierarchy of needs. Survival became like more important, right? So that was one of the things that came into play. And then the other thing, like Donald Trump said that global warming was fake. So what happened was Facebook was making so much money that they were basically shutting down anything. They basically turned anything environmental into political. So you had to put that little tag on it. And everything was getting shut down. And this is kind of like when we originally launched, and it was working great, but you had to go and get environmental approval for everything. Well, fast forward 2023 and Facebook's financially not in as good of a position, and a lot more advertisements like this are getting through. But the challenge with this is that because of everything that went on in 2019 with Greta Thunberg, every business was talking about the environmental benefits. And we've got to a point where like it's almost like a hygiene factor. Like if you're not being a sustainable business, people are kind of like shitting all over you. Oops. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but
totally allowed
you know,
to
it's
swear.
like, okay, cool. Shit. Anyways, you know, so these claims, these environmentalism, it's still important for a segment. And I think that this probably does well in terms of targeting that type of person. But I don't know the people that need to be educated jumps into it will be as impactful as it was a few years ago.
Yeah, that's interesting. To me, it's the message, of course, but it's the vibe that is almost like a scary news story.
Yeah.
Like that's, to me, that is almost like what makes this ad stand out more than just the environmental hook. Because you could do an environmental hook in a million ways. And to me, it's like is it in your water and killing you tonight at 10? You know, that vibe.
Club of Baby Seal, like, you know.
Right. It's just like a little mutt. It's like over the head. It's like hit you over the head with it. And what that does, I don't know, as a consumer for me is like, I'm all set.
Hit you over the head like this lady. Literally.
Yeah, like literally.
I feel like we've had a lot of experience with having to run this kind of advertising that is kind of like scary, makes you feel bad, and also that has the political disclaimer on it. And what we found when you use the political disclaimer that Ryan was talking about, we actually found the ads to be more expensive CPM price wise, because you get put into kind of a different bucket somehow. It's like a different, I don't know how Facebook necessarily does it, but with the algorithm, but we did find those to be a little bit more expensive. And I just don't know that it's worth it, because you're just making people feel bad immediately.
Right.
And that's not terribly compelling.
Right.
Well, I want to add, Nikki, I think nailed it. Like, this is like, it looks like news. Like, to me, this is another make ugly ads tactic to like make something that feels like native, because you'd expect on Instagram or wherever to see some sort of viral news video. This also kind of has like a Mr. Beast almost kind of like editing vibe. Not necessarily Mr. Beast, but like it's, like a YouTuber type edit. So that has it going for it. And then the other thing, like on the other hand, yeah, this might get people to pay attention for a while. I think we've talked about this on the show before. Like, I don't think a lot of people are motivated by this stuff to buy compared to other factors that might work more. Like, it's just not the A message. It's like the B or C or D message that someone might get them over the line. But I don't think people are this selfless. Like, broadly, most people are really selfish, and they're not seeing what's in it for me, which is sad, about this world and about
Barry hates
humans.
the dolphins. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I kind of am selfish. It was like, that's how I felt when I watched it. I was kind of like, no.
I don't know. I think I would argue that there's as large of a segment that needs the virtue signaling of, I bought the thing that is better.
There's that.
It needs to be tied to identity, because that is what motivates people. And I think people that this normally would appeal to have already found their solution. They're not already using, if they care so much about the dolphins, they're not already using Tide or whatever. They found that solution already.
Why, Jess? Why is this not the first time that they've been prompted to think about it?
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think people who care enough to make these choices have made them across a lot of other products, and they're doing their research. They're doing their own research. And
but everybody starts somewhere.
And
yeah, everyone starts somewhere, but I don't think this is enough to motivate someone to make that shift unless they are, I don't know, just further indoctrinated.
That's a different thing, though. That's a different thing. That's either this argument isn't compelling enough, or it's everyone already knows.
I think just talk a little bit about that identity that you were talking about, because I think we've talked about that with, I can't remember the brand, it's the turtle one, where if you tie it to sort of this, I don't know, crusade, I think that's a little bit more interesting.
I think people would much rather be seen as environmental than be environmental. And so if you can work, and that doesn't mean Tru-Earth needs a friggin' bracelet or whatever, but I think you can get that identity, like, I'm the type of person who would do this, and so I'm using Tru-Earth versus I actually care about the dolphins,
Yeah. I mean, we do that, like that. Like when we started our brand, we called it the Tru-Earth movement, and basically we're a medium for people to make little changes that create big impact. And our whole kind of like motto is little hinges swing big doors. Awesome. And I mean, just going back to this ad, I don't think that it would be a bad ad to have in a campaign. Like, it's going to target that type of person that maybe isn't aware of all of these things yet somehow, living in a closet somewhere, or just might be at that point where they've made the decision to try to be more environmentally friendly. So I don't think this would be a bad creative to have inside of a campaign specifically for going after that type of person. But I don't think that it's going to
sell
or
garner the results from the largest segment of the American population.
And so that's the mistake I see eco-conscious brands make in the beginning, is they're like, we're eco-conscious, that's our brand, that becomes our outward facing messaging, and it only and it kind of fails.
Can I jump in on this for a sec? Like, this is another one where, like, you can get caught up in hook rates and hold rates here, and like or watch time, because this is basically just a piece of content, and it doesn't get to the selling part later. So like it doesn't really matter if the people are getting hooked or being held or watching for a long time if they're not eventually getting converted to buy well enough, right? So like if this is a good enough message to get people to watch for long enough, and then you can pivot it to that sell, great. But if you can't, then that watch time is not really worth much. And by the way, same thing goes for if you're still doing like video view retargeting, like by percents or whatever, like someone watching this doesn't mean they're that interested in your product. They might just be interested in that environmental part. So that retargeting part isn't necessarily like video retargeting isn't necessarily that valuable.
But what if you were to go and use this? I don't know, just like playing devil's advocate a bit here. Like, what if you were to go and create this, and even if the first 20 seconds is more making somebody more problem aware, and then you had a subsequent piece of content, like just tossing it in the same campaign that leverages that educational portion and essentially winds up becoming retargeting, even though you just huck it in there with everything else. But part of the customer journey, like,
I wouldn't do it manually. Like I would not do
me either.
Manual video retargeting. I'm not saying I wouldn't run this video. I'd run this ad. I have nothing wrong with this fundamentally. I think it's great. I'd want to see how it performed. And to your point, I'd also like the idea that I could run this ad and then Facebook could automatically, if it thought it would work, target people who watched this before and haven't clicked maybe. You don't need to manually do that with video retargeting. Facebook can do that on its own. Yep. And I love that. So yeah, I'm with you on, if that's what you're saying, we're aligned.
Yeah, 100%. Like
nice.
A lot of times they'll create two pieces of content, one that's like a top of funnel video, and then another one that's a static that reinforces the benefits, and absolutely no retargeting, but put them in the same campaign. And after a week or two of the top of funnel video running, you start to see the second creative start to pick up steam from automatic retargeting.
So my last point on this one, and there's a similar issue with this one up here. First of all, it takes 1 minute 22 to get to, luckily there's something new. Like the first minute and 20 seconds are all bad things. And it goes from environmental, and then they're talking about they're testing on cruel testing, and then there's fat in it, and then there's talking about dust, and there's just too many negatives to be and then there's something new. It's just
I always say this, when you see all those problems, your brain is already filling in the blank of, okay, what's this? Then whatever I'm watching is going to be the solution, right? It keeps layering on that problem. So you're like, oh, cool, I want to see the solution. You already know it's coming. You already know whatever this is talking about solves all those problems.
I think you can get to it at 45 instead of 122.
I don't disagree with that.
There's a lot to be cut. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with
don't
that.
Disagree. Yeah.
But this is kind of like your traditional VSL for selling a supplement, right? The longer you can suck somebody in, and the more you can educate them on whatever the problem, and more negative anxiety you can cause, the more likelihood that you'll be able to provide a solution. So I could see it working on the people that get through it, but it's just a matter of it's you're just qualifying the person, but the longer they keep them on.
So just to quickly talk about our sponsor, Triple Whale. Fortunately, they release plenty of product in between Adtopsy episodes to talk about. Barry, have you used the SCDP Smart Customer Data Platform at all?
No, and I'm afraid you're going to tell me I'm not smart enough that I haven't used it.
Basically, from what I know, is they are looking at your Shopify customers and analyzing those segments, and then creating segments which you can then either sync to Facebook to create lookalikes. I'm not sure if you'd do that, or just straight run. Have not tested these. I have heard that some people have had success with these, but it's been a while since we've had a competent audience product released from somebody.
Hold on one sec, Jess. So if I'm understanding correctly, these are just segments made from the data that they have, and you can just push it straight back to Facebook?
Right.
And wow. So you don't have to pay extra for this?
I have no idea.
Because Because I mean, like Triple L just keeps like adding more features and products.
Why don't you text Rob about that?
Yeah, we used the product insights tab the other day for we're doing a huge analysis of one of the clients, like best sellers and different styles, and trying to think of new styles for their next Q4 release. They're like a style focused brand, and that was an excellent tool to be able to look at new customer revenue in like different products versus the entire revenue and what was doing better in different quarters and everything, and we use those insights to help make some of our decisions. So
always worth getting on Triple Whale. We've been grandfathered into a cheaper plan like a long time ago, so its price is probably going to keep going up and up, so I'd just get in there
or get a time machine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So Ryan, we have a very special black and white segment. This is something where you have to choose a camp, whether it's black or white. You cannot use the word "it depends" or the word "both." We don't have a jingle here, so Barry, take it away.
Oh my God!
It's time for black or white on Adtopsy.
Yeah, Barry.
I just used the other jingle that we already have and switched the words in.
Well done. All right, Ryan, are you ready?
So yeah, do I just say black or white, or do I say yes or no? Or
that would be a boring game. So
1 or 0.
I'm going to show you what these. I'm going to read both of them, and then you tell me which is the correct one.
You're going to love it.
Okay, ready?
This is where I get canceled.
No.
Black is using an agency is a waste of money. If it's a core part of your business, it should be done by your in-house team. And white is in-house teams suffer from tunnel vision and agencies are required for outside perspectives. Clearly a black and white situation. Ryan, why don't you tell us, as a brand owner, which one it is?
Jesus Christ. They both suck.
No. You don't get to say that. Kick him off the show. He's out.
Well, can you go? I need a bit more context. Are we saying an agency for creative, or are we saying an agency to run your ads? Like what?
Let's do the ads. Media buying, we'll say.
Yeah, he's like, he can't.
Wow.
I'll go white.
All right, it's been decided. Tweet this out, everyone. This is in-house teams suffer from tunnel vision. Well done, Ryan. No, do you have any nuance to add?
Yeah, we have our media. Most of our media buying is done in-house, but you can't be an expert on every single platform, and it's really freaking hard to find a media buyer, especially if you are, regionally. So we've got a great media buyer, but we do use outside agencies for certain things. So this one's not really black and white to me. I think that there's a lot of opportunity to use agencies, but at the end of the day, it's not. I'm not saying that in-house teams suffer from tunnel vision. I'm just saying that
no, that's what you said.
You can't be an expert in absolutely everything. You just can't. You can't. So agencies have a spot.
Okay. We'll move on. Black. Your marketing machine should be first order profitable. Relying on LTV for payback is how you destroy your cash flow. Or if you know your LTV, you can be more aggressive and acquire customers faster and still know it'll be profitable in 6 months.
I'm going to say white, but...
What?
There's no but.
I don't really care. There's a but. It depends on a lot of things, right? If I was starting a new brand, I would go black. If I have venture capital or I have tons of cash sitting around and I know my numbers, I go white. And it also depends on how mature your business is. Your customer acquisition cost is going to go up over time, but you're also going to have a better understanding of what your LTV is. So it depends on your cash flow. It depends on a lot of things. But I'll go white, and I'll probably be the only person saying that. But yeah.
Okay, Ryan. Just to reduce your anxiety a little bit, this game is set up for you to fail. So
yeah.
Great.
You're doing good. You're doing good. You've already lost 150 Twitter followers. I just said.
Perfect. That's what I was shooting for.
All right. The final one, black. consumers care about the environment and are willing to make sacrifices to protect it. Or consumers think they care about the environment but are unwilling to make sacrifices to protect it.
He just sighs. That's like.
I feel awful, by the way.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, thanks, guys. You guys have the best questions. I'm gonna say black, but it's obviously dependent on who you're targeting. Like, there's you have your diehard people that want to shame you for your choices if they're not perfect, like vegans and CrossFitters, and then you have BMW
snap,
owners. And then,
Nikki.
I'm personally offended. So offended.
I've done lots of CrossFit. I have a bulged disc right now. I can barely sit. This is like pretty much.
That sounds like
I'm
an
gonna have to
ego
lay down for the
problem,
rest of the day.
Ryan, not a CrossFit problem.
No, you want to know how I hurt my back? I was
I would
changing
love
into
to know.
shorts in Mexico and I collapsed to the ground. There was no CrossFit involved in that. But anyways,
That's called 42.
That's called an
Welcome.
overseas problem.
41.
Oh, I'm sorry,
41.
sir. 41.
41. I think that, yeah, again, whatever. There's a percentage of people that care. There's a percentage of people that don't. And that's it. So I'm caveating every single one of these. Screw you guys. I don't care what you say.
You're never coming back on this show.
You've been canceled. I said you've been canceled.
Oh, man.
So well done, Ryan. You have made it to the end of the show. Props to you for even taking part.
Oh my God!
I did have anxiety. I don't ever get nervous about these things.
Did you have anxiety?
Sorry.
I did. I was like, oh my God, what am I getting myself into here? This is live. Jess is totally going to call me out on something. And I'm going to be so embarrassed for the rest of my life. I'm going to have to delete my Twitter and stop making content. And I'm going to go and work at an agency and live happily ever after.
Dang.
Wow.
This is actually how he's been trying to get me to come work at the agency for a while.
That fire team? Come on over.
Join us.
You would fit in because we all have anxiety problems.
We do.
You can share Ativan.
100%.
So usually around over an hour into it, it's where I say, please like and subscribe to the show. I think that's how best practice. I'm not sure, but please do that if you're still hanging around in the chat. Appreciate the chat for hanging in there and having lots of fun with us.